Welcome back to the Her Sport Energia AIL show for episode 2. Today we have a show jam-packed with all of the women's club rugby in Ireland. We'll start by reviewing rounds 3 and 4 of the Energia AIL. We'll then jump forward to a preview of round 5. We'll catch up with Railway's Niamh Byrne, as well as getting involved with a little bit of a player challenge. Before we do that, I will introduce our very special guest, Niamh O'Dowd, aka Noddy. Niamh, you're very welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I don't think I've ever called you Niamh in my life.
No, it's always been Noddy. Yeah.
And can you quickly explain to the viewers where did you get Noddy from?
Yes, I can. So basically my name is Maeve O'Dowd. And like people were always like trying to find nicknames. Like they tried to call me Pudding at one point.
Of course.
There's a few different things. And then Brittany Hogan, she was like one day, she was like, Maeve O'Dowd, Noddy. And she just like landed on Noddy and it just stuck. And I kind of love it because like, you know, like you can't get in trouble when you're Noddy. Like, you know?
Yeah, like the character Noddy.
Well,
that's
yeah.
And your car kind of comes into this.
Exactly.
For those who don't know, Noddy has driven a very iconic car for the last number of years. Mm-hmm. What do you call it again?
The Ennis.
The Ennis.
The blue Ennis, yeah.
And it's gone now, right?
She's still alive.
Oh.
Barely breathing. But
she's still out here.
She's still out there. Yeah, didn't lock, barely started. But listen.
Some great trips and memories.
Some great trips down to Clover's Training, the whole lot. Oh my God, car packed with gear bags and everything.
I love it. It lasted you well. Well, Noddy, thank you so much for being here with us today. I suppose you've obviously just come back off the back of a World Cup and just a whirlwind few months. How has that been for you? And I suppose adapting to life outside of camp is difficult too. So could you just chat a little bit about, I suppose, the World Cup experience for you and then where you're at now?
Yeah, like obviously like thinking back now, we've had kind of like almost like 8 weeks. So yeah, overall like a very positive experience. The support over there was honestly like, I don't think we knew people were coming over, like people had been saying, oh yeah, we're coming to your games, but like actually experiencing it, like the game in Brighton was even like we got beaten that day, and yet I still think of it as such a positive experience. Amazing. Because there were just so many people there all over Brighton on the way to the game. The stadium was just, it was honestly, I've never experienced anything like it. So like overall very positive experience. You know, here we are.
It's sport, exactly, and I think that the bigger piece that you've done for rugby in Ireland is incredible. Yeah, and testament to all of you. You work so hard. So.
And I think the further kind of as time passes, like you do actually like realize like how proud you can be of the whole thing. And yeah, it was definitely like coming back home was like a big adjustment.
Of course,
the first few days were like very strange. We kind of all just like stayed in the house, like Beth and Nancy McGillivray, they actually stayed in our house. So there was like 6 of us, like all just like didn't know what to do with ourselves. Do you know, like she have no plans. Like
when you go from being in such a bubble, which like for anyone kind of watching home, like in camp, it's such a bubble. You're with the same people every day. You have your routine. You wake up at the same time. So
you're
to
told
come out
what
of
to
it,
eat. You're told like what time to like go to a meeting at, like you, and then you land back home the next day, literally, and you're like, oh my God, and people say, oh yeah, like, you know, make sure you know what you're doing now after the World Cup. And I think about that. Sure, obviously you don't. Like, you're just thinking about the next training session, the next match. But yeah, no, we got through it. And we're here now.
I know we were discussing at the start. I can't remember, but how did we meet?
So,
obviously, how do we meet? Through rugby?
No,
But our first meeting, I don't remember.
I was thinking about this. So basically, the year we played Winter Pros in January, we would have played against each other, back row.
Right. Oh, I remember hearing your name, and I was like, who is this girl?
Yeah, I obviously knew who you were, Maeve Óg O'Leary, you know. And then it would have been when we went into Celtic Challenge then after that. Then, and I remember
that was the combined provinces, you'd everyone together.
Yes, exactly, yeah. And I obviously was like so nervous, like, you know, like out of my comfort zone, new environment, and you were just so friendly and nice to me, and I was like, oh, she's so nice.
And that was the start
and that was it then,
of a beautiful friendship.
Yeah.
And me and Nada, we've shared, I was like, shared many camps, we've shared many high benches together.
Yeah.
Good memory. No, good memories, no, but obviously we, I can't fade it, girl. No,
it's very galvanizing though, do you know?
It is, and it's resilience building and
character building. And
it is, and think everyone probably goes through that stage of the game that they're in those
100%.
positions,
Yeah.
and it just makes you want it more.
It makes you want it more. Like you never take anything for granted.
Exactly.
You work for everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest. Yeah.
And obviously you mentioned back row there, but now you're in the front row.
Indeed.
So a little bit on that, like how was that transition? I think I've never witnessed someone wanting to learn a position so much in my life. Like you are just relentless with it. Yeah. But how has the transition been? And I suppose there's probably people watching. I moved positions myself from centre to back row, which I adore. But how was the transition to prop?
Yeah, well, like, to be honest, you probably witnessed some of the like lowest moments. Like, do you remember before we went to Dubai? Like some of those,
it's tough.
Like you really do. Some of the sessions like can be really tough when you're like a new prop. And you're going against the likes of Christy Haney, Linda Jugang. Like, there's no hiding there. Do you know? So you either literally have to learn really fast or just
get crumbled.
Get absolutely crumbled. And like there were times when you did just get crumbled.
What does it feel like to get crumbled in a scrum?
Oh, like
as a front row, like I can just pop off as a back row.
Exactly, like
you're eating the grass.
You're eating the grass. Like your whole body is just like it's like being in a vice grip, like. Because you've your back row and your second row behind you, they're all in front of you. So like, there's nowhere to go. Do you know?
Oh God, the backs wouldn't have a clue.
You know, no, I've honestly loved it. I'm so grateful. It was actually my club Belvedere. Yeah. They kind of they were the ones who like pushed me to like move to the front row. It was Ailish Egan down in Belvo, like obviously a former Irish prop.
Of course.
And she just turned up to training one day and she was like, "You're going to be a prop," and I was like, didn't want to, but like they just made me do it and they gave me game time in the front row. So yeah, honestly, I'm just so grateful to them for,
of course,
pushing me and just making me do it, because you're not going to volunteer yourself, like, are you?
I know. Well, I think prop's probably the scariest position that you could push yourself into.
Yeah,
but like you've taken to
imagine 10.
Well, you know, I'm good actually. Targeting 10. Who are targeting this again? Girls 10. Like, do you know what I mean? So it's a different position, stressful, but I think the level of detail and like tactics in front row is, you know, it's people take it for granted probably. And sure, we've Christy Haney obviously in rock, who is like a wizard. Yeah. I think she's probably she could hold a deep squat for about 10 minutes, I'd say.
Oh yeah.
Insane.
She's so funny.
Insane. Obviously, your club is Belvo.
Yes, it is.
I know you've probably been down and around training. How is training going? Obviously, Fee Hayes with you this year. How is that kind of looking?
Yeah, obviously, like we all know Fee Hayes. She's great crack. Yeah. And like she's so big on like culture and kind of positive energy and all that. So yeah, I think the girls are really enjoying it. Plenty of new faces down, and just like it seems to be a pretty happy camp from what I can gather. I haven't been like on pitch, but I've been down and around like when they've been training and in the gym and stuff. And
great.
Yeah, it all seems to be going well. Yeah.
So Nod, you just mentioned new players there, and I think it's a really important piece to touch on. Not only within Ireland, the amount of new players that are coming up through the Energia AIL, but also there is such a appetite from players who are abroad. I suppose maybe whether they're in their off season or looking to maybe develop further in their rugby. But it's something we've seen in the Energia AIL over the last couple of years, and again this year. And I know that you've mentioned a couple of players that are down in Belvo who've come from abroad, and I suppose just chat a little bit about it. Yeah,
like we've a couple of girls now. Emily Byrne from Australia, Eilish Doyle from New Zealand.
What's the nickname?
So how you say her name? Because I was like, is it like Eilish? Is it Ailish? Like, do you know, you never know with all these spelling. And she was like, Billie Eilish. Just think of Billie Eilish. So that's Eilish Doyle.
Keep your eyes out for Eilish Doyle.
Yeah, she's actually a loose head as well. So
oh my God, another prop. We love to hear it.
And yeah, they just like, because I was chatting to Eilish and Emily as well, and like they just wanted to come here, like experience the rugby and like the Energia AIL, like that's people want to come and play in this league. So 100%. Yeah, it's just nice to see that it's like such an attractive competition for people from down in Australia and New Zealand.
Down under.
Yeah, down under, yeah.
Good Australian accent line. I think Nod's known for her accents as well. But I think I suppose just to touch on a couple of other players that are here, and there's probably plenty now that we're leaving out, but we're very lucky in Rock as well to have the likes of Trinity Todd, Sam Brackett, Regan Casey. I know Ennis have Hamdan, who played a really big role in their first ever Energia AIL try. And then finally, Ballincollig also have McLean from New Zealand, and she came off the bench this weekend, and I think she had an incredible impact. So
Yeah.
it's lovely to see such an attractive competition for players overseas.
Yeah.
And I know obviously then there's an opportunity for girls to go and play some fun competitions as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Away, so they're lovely relationships and friendships to bring into.
And they're really like adding to the teams. Like Jamie Church as well was playing for Wicklow
Yes,
there.
absolutely.
Weekend, had a great game against Belvo. So like they add so much to the league.
And I think
just makes it better for everyone.
The cultural piece too is really cool.
Yeah.
Understanding and learning what rugby looks like in different countries and how that can add to your club. It's incredible. So like anyone who would maybe be listening abroad, like reach out. It's a class league to be playing in, and we love it. So speaking about how rugby looks different for everyone, there's a quick topic I want to touch on with you. Obviously, for those at home watching, Niamh O'Dowd is very much known for your fueling via rice pudding. It's a very iconic staple in your match day prep, pre-match day prep.
Yeah.
But also I know that you're mad for a meal prep. I'd love to hear what's in the day of a life of Nod's fueling. Yeah. On a training day, let's go.
Okay, yeah. So like basically my life, like the amount of lunch boxes I be bringing around my bag of lunch boxes and every night then washing them up. It's like a full-time job. So yeah, so basically I'll start off obviously the porridge. You know, I've actually, people think I'm a very plain eater, but I have actually like advanced my food a lot.
Love.
So I now throw banana, blueberries on top of the porridge.
Yes.
Sometimes a bit of yogurt, do you know?
Oh, yogurt and porridge?
Yeah, exactly.
And honey?
Yeah, no honey.
Oh.
No.
Milk, made with milk or water?
Milk.
Okay, that brings the sweetness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so then I'll also usually start my day with some chicken, do you know? Chicken fillet.
Yes, girl, protein.
But like protein, like if you don't start with protein, you're like behind already.
And chicken fillet, are we plain chicken filleting?
Plain chicken fillet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People think this, huh?
I said me behind the camera.
No, you know what? I respect it.
Yeah.
Would you ever turn to it? Maybe a shake in the morning or Greek yogurt's brilliant.
So I actually have started, our lovely nutritionist Emma has convinced me to eat some Greek yogurt and berries before bed. Apparently it's very, I don't know, healthy.
Oh, I might
start
doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, then I'll move on to like my kind of mid-morning lunch.
Cool.
So that's usually couple of turkey burgers. Christy Haney now, again, she'll get so many shout outs in this. She's the one who got me onto turkey burgers. They are a game changer. Turkey burgers, potatoes, like I will just like
seasoned?
No. Maeve Óg, like the hunger is in the sauce or whatever they say.
Yeah,
you know, the sauce is in the hunger. I don't know what it is.
You're just looking at nutritional value.
Exactly.
Where are my carbs, where's my protein?
Exactly.
Love.
So that's kind of mid-morning snack lunch. Post-training, I love a bit of chocolate milk. Like I would literally drink chocolate milk like exclusively if I could. Yeah, I know, but I don't think you can do
a
that.
little deal going here.
Literally.
Looking for a chocolate meal deal.
Yeah, and again, the girls have been a very good influence on me.
Girls being...
So, Baven, Aveen and Erin, we all live together. So they've actually really like, you know, helped me like with my food choices. So we have like a lot of salmon bowls, like rice, mango, salmon, tomatoes. Yeah, throwing a bit of mango, it's so nice. Yeah.
Lovely.
So yeah, and then we were talking about the rice pudding earlier. So I did used to be like pretty crazy with the rice pudding.
Addicted.
Like a match week, like I could have 13 tins of rice pudding in 1 week. I'd be having it the night before training, the morning of training, straight after training, and then she'd have training the next day. So the night before again, straight before training, straight after training, and then carb load day for a game that I probably wasn't even playing. Like I'd be like 3 tins throughout the day, and then morning of a game I'm not again playing. I'd be having.
Was it
one?
Did you have a superstition then connected to it a little bit?
Oh, of course. I was like, if I don't, I'd be going to training. I'd be like, if I don't eat my rice pudding, like I won't be able to train. Like I won't be able to run.
I can't.
It took me a while to, like, again, our nutritionist like had to sit me down and was like, Maddie, like you don't need to be eating all this rice pudding, you know?
I know, but it's hard when you have a routine because you're worried your energy output will go down, of course.
It's like anything, you're like, I can't, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
100%. Yeah. So is rice pudding still included in the diet?
Of course it is, but it's much more
structured.
I would say reined in, pared back.
How many tins?
Balanced. Probably like, no, honestly, probably only... I actually eat a lot more of the little pots.
Oh
now
yes, unreal.
Yeah. And then
nice.
just tins around matches.
Well, look, Nad, what we might do is head over and let's have a little look back on week 3 and 4 of the Energia AIL. So not some really exciting games, I suppose. Some that you were probably down at yourself. I think to touch on quickly first, round 3 for Railway and Rock actually was the first ever Pride round. So it's something we touched on ahead of the game as well. But, you know, obviously the result of the day, Blackrock came out on top. It was very tight at half time. It was actually 10-12 and felt very pressureful from being on the pitch. But I suppose the bigger picture of that day was the Pride round. I know you were there towards the end, which was lovely to have you guys over. But I suppose the panel was brilliant. There was Emerald Warriors were down there and Ternier as well. They played against each other ahead of the Rock and Railway fixture, and then Rock and Railway seconds played as well. But very iconic to have a Pride round in the Energia AIL.
Yeah, honestly, it was really like thinking back, like it was actually really cool. Like obviously our very own Christy Haney again. She was on the panel and like spoke brilliantly. Like I don't think like, you know, I didn't really know what to expect, and then when like the guys like spoke on the panel, it was actually really like kind of eye-opening. And yeah, it's just, I guess it just shows like how inclusive the Energia AIL is, and like, you know, it's like a home for so many. So the fact that it is so inclusive and just welcoming and like a safe space for people, it was just really nice to see.
Definitely, and I think we probably not take it for granted, but we've been in it for so long that we don't even realize maybe how much it would mean to someone to be into it. So I suppose like a message to anyone is to come and try rugby. If there's sports you've tried where maybe you don't feel like there's a place for you don't feel included, like rugby, there is genuinely a place for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's unreal.
Yeah, and I think just like having the Pride round is just like a really nice way to like actually acknowledge that
and celebrate it. And I think it was funny for the Pride round, there was a number of players really involved in organising it. And everyone wore a lace in some capacity. So maybe it was a lace in your boot or a lace in your hair or maybe a lace around your sock. But we were all putting our laces in the dressing room, and I said, 5 years time now, guys, we're going to have the jerseys on, like, and just see how it develops. So hopefully it is something that develops, and it's spread throughout other clubs. And it's just, I suppose, have to give onus to Rock and Railway, obviously, and Emerald Warriors as well, because they really pushed. And it was really cool. There was a number of presidents from other clubs too. So you'd like St. Mary's College there, Newbridge. I'm missing people now, but it was just lovely to have that representation from not only the clubs running it. And it's a much bigger picture. Like, you know, rugby's rugby, but being involved and included and welcomed, and diversity and inclusion is so much bigger. Galwegians, obviously, they've stormed ahead with their third win in round 3. Very, very good for them, I suppose. I think I looked at a stat, and it was last year they won 5 games in the entire Energia AIL. So they're already, I suppose, well, we've round 4 done now, but they're 4 from 4 already. Just so nice for, I suppose, a West club and someone over in Connacht to be up the top of the table.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they're probably a club who, like, they've had such a consistent team over the years. And then like a good few of their girls will have played with Connacht into pros over the summer. So like hopefully just that like consistency of player pool will maybe have helped them kind of build to this point, and hopefully they can just like keep that kind of going.
It's very exciting, and every week the results come out, I'm like, brilliant. They're also, we've probably seen the knock on maybe of the NTS as well. So for anyone listening, the NTS are the national talent squads around the country. And you have young players, I think, is it from the age of 18?
I think it's actually 16.
16.
Yeah, 16 to 23.
Incredible. And so you've provincial branches for those players to go and get strength and conditioning development, as well as pitch and skills development. So probably seen a little bit of a knock-on of that.
I think, 100%.
As someone, like, I'm right saying you were in the NTS
yourself?
I
was indeed, I was for actually a couple of years. And like you say, like, these young girls are like getting like S&C, like very consistently, like their skill sessions, like you kind of get like position specific stuff as well. So like any of the kickers will be getting a hand and stuff like that. So I think it has to be helping the girls coming through, because then when they come to their club, like they're already like almost semi-pro, like you know. Like when we were coming from college, like my God,
you couldn't bench the barbell alone.
Not at all. No.
College. We used to play 3 games a week in college. Oh my God.
I know.
You'd be down on the pitch with DCU or UCD on a Wednesday, 80 minutes. Saturday with Rock, 80 minutes, and then maybe
training on the other night.
Or you might have a college game, another one Monday.
And then you'd have a college night out as well. And
I swear to God, and you're well able. until you hit about
None of that now. It's all very
23.
professional.
Yeah. We've were fun after our Saturday fixtures too.
We do,
but,
yeah.
Just then to quickly, I suppose, look at the other fixtures. Wicklow took on Ennis in round 3, which was Ennis's first loss of the Energia AIL. Quickly touching on loss and I suppose navigating loss across a long season. So this year's Energia AIL has 18 rounds.
Yeah.
Obviously that's quite long.
Yeah.
Losses are going to come, but how important is it to navigate through your losses?
Yeah, like Belleville kind of experienced that when they went down to Bowes, and I was actually like in the huddle when Fee spoke kind of at their first training back then on Tuesday, and she was just like, just have to park it, you know?
Yeah.
And you do like you say, like there's 18 rounds, like you have to park it, do your review, your analysis, but like every round there's a new opportunity, do you know?
Certainly, yeah.
And like you build so much, like how long have these teams been training together? Every week is like a new kind of opportunity to train together, get to know each other even better.
Yeah.
And like every game you play, you're going to build that cohesion. So yeah, I think you just have to like maintain faith, and like the difference from like what's happening now to what's happening, let's say in February, like teams will be vastly different.
Yeah. And you can't get bogged down in these losses early in the season, because there is obviously so much opportunity towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
While the points do count now, like obviously you've the opportunity to develop, and obviously I suppose the thing to note is some clubs will maybe lose players, whether it's to international windows or Celtic Challenge windows. So there's plenty of opportunity constantly peaking up in the Energia AIL. But look, as you mentioned there, UL obviously took the win over Belleville. Fee Hayes' first time back in her old club. Must have been, I suppose, a interesting one for her. I'd say she loved being back down, I suppose, at home. But also like a great learning experience, and for the Belleville girls, as you mentioned. And then finally Ballincollig took the win over Cook in their first win of this year's Energia AIL, which is really, really exciting. That was a tough game. Cook were actually leading at half time, and Ballincollig pulled ahead. So lovely to see their first win of the season as well. And I think coming into round 3 with that, you know, it really would lift morale and lift motivation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And to be able to come back in a game like that and get the win in the end, like it just shows like how like resilient and together their squad is. So that's really good to see. Yeah,
absolutely helps you build that. Moving on then to the recap of round 4. UL took on Ennis in an all-Munster derby. I think it probably came about as more of an occasion than just a match. I know there was a little bit of a presentation after the match, which was lovely. And also you've a really strong Munster contingent in Ennis and Bowes. So that was nice. UL did take the win, and I suppose for Ennis they're 2-2 now, wins and losses. But again, like navigating that loss and I suppose sticking together, and it really makes you pull together.
100%.
They're obviously playing the top side in the Energia AIL or last year's winners anyway. So just a good one to touch on. Galwegians took their 4 from 4. Very successful win over Cook. I think that they're hitting now 4 wins. They had 5 last season. They'll hopefully continue on this trajectory. And it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting to see them travel around the country more and I suppose like play some of the top 4 teams from last year and see how they do fare against these kind of, I suppose, teams who've scored plenty of points and put plenty of points on other teams last year. It'll be interesting to see how they go against the top 4.
Yeah, well, like we're actually traveling down to Galway, and like I don't know, in my memory, I've never won a game down there. Like it's a very hard place to go, do you know? You get nothing for free down there, like absolutely
and I think
nothing.
You nearly have to climatise to Galway.
Yes.
If you've never played a match in Galway, it's raining 24/7 probably.
Oh my god, it's a different climate down there. Like you get off the bus and you're like, we're in a different country.
I think I don't know. I think
it's the most D4 thing I've ever said.
You're not even from there, girl.
I know.
Go on away. Like I think I saw some of the Galwegians girls dressed up after their fixture last week. Oh my god, it was hilarious. They're dressed up as grannies.
Yes,
God, I
I've
swear
heard Halloween is big.
If you
down
haven't
there.
seen that,
So
go and
funny.
find it on your Instagram. But it was very iconic. Moving on to Railway Tullow. Railway got their first win.
Yes.
How important is that for last year's runners up?
Yeah, exactly. Like they seem to be a club that like just thrives on momentum. So yeah, I guess it's good to see them back in their kind of winning ways.
Yeah.
Like they're no strangers to scoring plenty of tries and putting plenty of points on teams. So I guess it must have been kind of unusual for them to start the season quite as slow as they did.
Yeah.
But that just kind of shows how competitive the league is becoming.
Definitely,
Do you know that it's
definitely.
It's not just clear cut who's gonna come out on top in these games.
And they've probably taken massive learning in their first 3 games to bring them into to this win over Tullow. And just to touch on Tullow as well, obviously they're a side that they're relatively new to the Energia AIL, but I suppose that is, you know, maybe probably not the right way to say it, but part and parcel of coming up is it takes a little while to grow momentum. And I think that anyone who is familiar with Tullow, like they have a brilliant player pool and they've some real experience down there. In Grace Kelly, I know she would have captained them. And I think they've Katie Ann O'Neill as well, if I'm right in saying that, who they would actually probably would have played them in college. She was down with Carlo. But anyway, they're a team that are definitely building momentum and ones to watch. And they'll probably take massive learning from that as well. Down in Blackrock, we'd Ballincollig. So we went into halftime very tight actually.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, Ballincollig came out of the traps real tactical, like very much on it from the get-go. They scored their first try down there, so definitely put us under the pump. And it was just that last 20 that we kind of pulled away. And I suppose maybe that's something you guys have experienced too, or you in different teams, but how important is like that 80-minute game? Like obviously you can come out of a game and play a brilliant first 40 and be delighted and walk away with it, but to bring it to 60 and 80, like is that something you feel like you've had to work on in your teams?
Well, 100%, and it's probably something that probably haven't still like nailed down. It's probably one of the most difficult things, because when you play an 80-minute game, like you just like like the whole 23 has to just be like, it's so hard to kind of I guess keep momentum, and then when changes are made, not let any momentum drop, and just like it's all well and good, like you say, having like a really fast, strong start in the first 20, first 40, but making sure that you don't slip up at that like 65-minute mark, you know, and then when they bring on their bench, like it's kind of it becomes like the battle of the benches, like whose impact players can make more of an impact, and it is. I think it's the $1 million like
it is, isn't it? Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of how long the Energia AIL season is, but you can learn how to unlock. How do we unlock 60? Even if it's 5s, like we always talk about taking the game in 10s, unlocking that, and also unlocking living through people's purple patches, like is such a it's a tough one. And then finally, Old Belbo took the win over Wicklow after a couple of tough losses. So definitely positive for them. I know that Wicklow were leading towards the beginning of the game. But for Old Belbo then to go and take the win, it's brilliant.
A big confidence boost for them now. Like you say, after the kind of couple of tougher games. What I will say is like the scoreline probably doesn't reflect how well Wicklow played. Like they spent a lot of time in our 22, but just kind of struggled to like convert that into points.
It's tough.
And we'll obviously touch on some of the standout players from these games later. But there was some big moments from players on both sides. But huge confidence boost now for Belvo going into the kind of the next leg of games.
So there's obviously been a number of players who are standing out in this year's Energia AIL, and we think it's so important to obviously touch on them. Usually there's a piece around this podcast where we're kind of more so touching on teams, and we want to really shine a light on the stars that are standing out at the moment. And I think to bring us into it and to look at maybe top points, top try scorers, Alana McInerney of UL, she's sitting at 9 tries at the moment, topping that list. And I suppose we've both obviously trained with her at different stages and played with her at different stages, but how important is it for a quality player like her to be able to deliver consistently like that at the Energia AIL level?
Yeah, exactly. And she has been delivering consistently. Like she is constantly like top, if not second top of that table, year in, year out. I don't know how she does it. She just knows how to get to the try line. She's just such a classy player, and speedy and like powerful as well. And so I'm just delighted for her.
I could only wish I had the speed she has.
I have Kate Flannery now giving her a few crossfields.
I know. Well, I think this is one of the threats here of UL. Like the young talent that is coming up the lines, and you see it, and you obviously have so many experienced players down there in Chloe and Clodagh and Claire Bennett and Rachel Allen and all that, but you have like Grania Burke, Emma Dunnican, Beth Buttimer, Kate Flannery, who were in there like first 2-3 seasons, and it's just like they're building a monster down there. It's
they are, and they all like know each other so well, play together so well. Katrina
Brilliant.
Finn then they had in the centre.
Oh
like,
my God,
sure,
come here.
what can you do?
Outstanding intro. What
Yeah.
can you do, huh? It'll be interesting to see who can stop them now. Then to just jump over to Railway.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was the return of Bowlesy this week.
Yeah.
Claire Bowles. So Claire Bowles is away at the World Cup with Nod herself.
Yeah.
But to have, I suppose, a player of her quality and her
Yeah.
standard back in, it was obviously impactful.
Yeah.
Railway bringing home their first win, but I suppose testament to Bowlesy's character. She scored 4 tries as well.
Yeah, exactly. And there is only one Bowlesy, and like, to be fair, like, she scored 4 tries, but I can only imagine how many tackles she made, how many breakdowns she hit. Like, she's such a workhorse. She's like quite quiet in like the way she kind of operates, but she just gets through so much work. So I'm delighted for her now.
Absolutely. And speaking 100%, and she's probably sitting somewhere in the top, and she's one game back.
Oh, literally, I know.
It's a threat.
I've never been on that table in my life.
Don't worry, when you get there one day. The latter stage of your career.
Yeah.
Who knows? Moving on then, just to Galwegians, I think Joanne Adams-Verling, she's a player we've brought up before, scored 4 early tries in the season. She's obviously on that list as well, making her way up. And I think important to add Gemma Lee as well. She scored 7 conversions at the weekend. Those points, not how important kind of a conversion or a penalty, those 2 or 3 pointers be when it comes to the final whistle.
Yeah, and being able to rely on your kicker to make those conversions, get that 2 points, like you say, if semi-final.
Class.
Yeah.
Another player that I do want to touch on is Ballincollig's Fia Whelan. She is their 10. She was playing 10 last weekend against us, and she is such a young player. She was in at Munster for her first senior season this season, but she also is so technical and tactical and smart. Like, she was pulling strings back there, so very exciting number of 10s coming up, I suppose, through the ranks. And Kate Flann, Katrina Finn, and of course Fia Whelan. Ennis's Avian Hassey is another player who's really been, I think, pulling strings as well. She scored 2 tries at the weekend. I think they were the only 2 scores to go down on Ennis's team sheet. So another really great player just to highlight and keep an eye out on. And then to Belvo, Alicia Flynn.
Oh my God.
A Munster woman now, that should be having words, huh?
I know. How did Hayes get her up here? I had never actually seen her play before. Not that I was aware of any. Oh my God, I couldn't get over it. She got a few overthrows off the line out, and there was absolutely no stopping her. Tackles, also her scrums are so good. Like, the Wicklow scrum is a force to be reckoned with.
We all know.
Yeah.
Anyone in the Energia AIL should know.
Yeah.
The Wicklow scrum is a force.
The Wicklow scrum, full stop.
Yeah.
So I was honestly so impressed with her. I don't know what age she is. She's very young though. I think
18 or 19 potentially.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
an
very
absolute
impressive
powerhouse.
Yeah, she got her first cap for Munster this summer as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, being on the other side of her tackles.
Oh, I wouldn't.
No thanks.
I'd be like, I'll play on your team.
Yeah.
Like,
I know, I was a lucky girl.
And then sure, she was paired up with Feckin. Oh.
Feckin.
Okay, so we'll just say.
You can probably say Feckin.
And then sure, she had Ivana there as well beside her, who was absolutely like rampaging. And
I think Robin O'Connor is probably one we want to touch on as well quickly.
She had a very good game.
Super impact.
Some super runs attacking rugby, but oh my God, her work at the breakdown, tackles. She's playing centre now, so like great to like have her like in the middle of the pitch, involved in everything. She was absolutely brilliant, but like we all know, very, very good player.
Absolutely. And then finally, just Wicklow's Vicky Elms-Kinlan. She's obviously had a huge impact as well in the first couple of rounds for Wicklow in the Energia AIL.
Yeah, exactly. She's been a very consistent player for them. Like she's one of their kind of shining lights, and such a good impact for them.
Absolutely. Look, it's great to see all the talent that is pouring out of the season so far, and definitely a couple of names there we've said to keep an eye on. Railway Union have finally found their breakthrough this season with their first win. And we had the chance to catch up with Captain Niamh Byrne ahead of the season to get her thoughts.
Niamh, as the captain of Railway Union, you've been leading one of the most competitive teams in the AIL. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Katie. Really excited to be here with Her Sport.
So I suppose we'll just get started with the start of your journey. Take us back. How did you first get involved in rugby?
Oh, going way, way back at this point. So essentially I was honestly never really very interested in rugby until some of the boys I knew from my school were getting involved in setting up what was the first ever Mullingar under-18s girls team. So the Mini Heifers. And I think I was probably dragged down one of the first nights to make up numbers, and really did not expect to like it, let alone to still be here all these years later, but just really enjoyed kind of every aspect of it. And I just, kept going back to training every week, and then it grew into something more. And was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
And you just kept it up since, and now you're captaining a side with such a strong winning culture. What is that like?
It's not without its challenges. I think it's a big honor to have been selected to captain, to kind of still be here holding that title at the minute. It's been interesting. I think every season has brought its kind of different challenges. I think looking back over the past few seasons, I think it's probably the merging of different personalities, different experiences in rugby, and figuring out a way that we can have 40 people training and playing across two squads, that, you know, those internationals who've come back to us after a World Cup are as engaged and as interested in training as someone who has come from netball or tag rugby and never played contact rugby before, you know, August of this year. And it's trying to bring everyone on that journey, albeit at different stages, and kind of end with a result that hopefully ends in a final again.
And like, I suppose you were saying there, like that leadership like comes with a lot of demands, and obviously like you're all about like balancing the leadership and making sure that you're giving everyone the time, but also like protecting your performance. I suppose, how do you balance the leadership demands on and then off the field with the team as well?
Yeah, and I think it's always I laugh, it's an interesting thing to do, but I think the most cliched answer here would be we have a really good leadership group. So obviously on the pitch for those 80 minutes trying to manage a game and a referee, but equally for the most part we have a leadership group within our squad that represents, you know, old, young, new to rugby, experienced, and everyone in between. And that leadership group is really, really helpful because it gives you a steer on how different groups within the squad might feel about, you know, changes to something, how drills are working, etc. And then just kind of that constant communication. Definitely something though I think I've gotten a bit better with over some experience, but equally still there's a new challenge every time, but just take it in your stride and kind of figure it out as you go.
That's a really good motto to have, take it in your stride and just figure it out as you go along. But I suppose you're not going to know until you do it.
No, exactly. And you know, like even this season we've obviously haven't had the start we would have had in previous seasons, but you look at it and you think it's blending a very young kind of squad who've come out of Leinster 18s, Irish 18s, and bringing them on that journey. And ultimately, I think teaching them that, obviously, you know, our goal is to get to a semi-final, to hopefully end in a final and whatnot. But at the same time, you know, it's not the be-all and end-all. And this is typically quite a long journey to get to where we are now, and to make sure they're enjoying it and not stressed and sitting there thinking, God, this is the worst thing ever. Because at the end of the day, we all want to be down playing fun, engaging rugby, and that's what we try and keep it as.
And that's really, I suppose, the core. And like a lot of people that I've spoken to as well have just been like, it's about maintaining that fun in it and making sure that you're there for the right reasons at the end of the day, and you're making sure that you're not going to burn out because you're killing yourself rather than just having a good time. I mean, that's why you started it.
Somewhere you want to be. You know, I think I go down that lane 3 times a week at minimum, and all of your friends are there. It's, you know, it's a positive experience, and it's where you want to keep going back to get better at rugby, to see your friends, to kind of just keep growing with a group of people on a similar path.
And I suppose, would you guys have like a good group morale then, or like a good like friendship amongst you all? Like, would you guys say that like your training sessions are good crack?
I think we're fortunate enough we get dinner once a week after training, a hot dinner, and I think we have our fun before training, we have our fun at dinner on a Thursday night, and ideally we try to stay focused for that kind of 80-minute session on a Tuesday and Thursday, but absolutely make sure we're having fun either side of it. You know, we go to trips, we went to the World Cup together as a big group, so very, very kind of social group, and it's good.
I suppose, what does a typical training week look like for you personally?
Yeah, so I guess I do work I'm fully remote, so again, very happy to get down to Railway to see everyone, but typicly we would gym twice a week. So Marie, our gym coach, has us in there probably Monday and Thursday mornings for me. Others obviously aren't in the mood for a 6 a.m. gym. They go later on. But Monday, Thursday gym, Tuesday, Thursday pitch, and a match on Saturdays.
And I think things might have changed in the last few years in rugby, especially in women's rugby. And even I've noticed some changes since the Women's World Cup that only happened a few weeks ago. Has there anything that's changed in the women's club game since you first started?
Yeah, when I think back, like I first joined, I think we played Leinster 19s the first year, so it wasn't even the 18s. It was kind of different age groups. It's grown. I look at interpros, you know, they've gone from being a smaller affair to something that's big. It has a crowd behind it. The Celtic Cup has come into the picture. And equally, I think in terms of AIL, if you look at it, our first final we made it into 5 years ago was in Donnybrook, so it was in Energia Stadium. And now last year we got to line out in the Aviva. Do you know, like that has definitely grown. And I think the support, the number of podcasts, of TV shows, news agents like picking this up is growing. And I think it's beginning to really reflect a lot of the work that has gone in by a lot of people over the past 10, 15 years.
I suppose it's kind of just, how do you manage the pressure of it all and keeping a team motivated in a long AIL season? Like, it's not like it's a 3 months long season. You guys have a long road ahead of you still. How are you keeping the team motivated, and how do you keep that pressure managed in yourself?
Yeah, so I think in terms of motivation, I think this year it will be a little easier in the sense of, again, a lot of our core group over the past few years has kind of moved on, and we're welcoming a younger kind of wave of people in. So they're excited. Their energy kind of bounces off some of the older seasoned pros on the team. Yeah. And it's exciting to be there and to look at a lot of those girls, you know, hopefully get called into Interpros, Celtic Cup, and see them going on their journey is great, and it kind of keeps us all motivated. I think in terms of managing the pressure, again, you know, I think we're all on different stages of our journey in our team, and that's where, again, that leadership group maybe comes in, and we might be concerned about points or bonus point wins, you know, all of that, and we try and let some of those girls come in and just focus on rugby, and we share the load of that kind of management or admin side among a smaller cohort to make sure it's not interrupting some players who just need to put their head down and play some rugby.
I suppose I have wrap-up questions left, and it's just about things that you would like to say to younger girls just starting in rugby.
Honestly, I would say just give it a go. You know, if go down to your few sessions, say you're going to try it for 2 weeks, whatever it is, and just take everything that comes forward, you know, in your stride. Because when I think back to that first night in Mullingar, I never would have thought I would have had some of the opportunities I've since had. I've gone to the US to play with Olympic development academies for summers. I've gotten to travel with rugby, and I never would have thought any of that was possible. So I think go down and just kind of see what happens, and say yes to exciting opportunities, and you'll never look back.
Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and it's been lovely to chat to you.
After this, we'll be looking ahead to round 5 and some of the best fixtures in store.
I'm really excited to see Eve Prendergast. She's really improved with being away with the Interbros, and it's been really exciting pre-season, so I think she's in for a great year. She's coming back in with an awful lot of learning from the Munster setup, and especially winning the Interbros as well.
France Bloomfield is over from New Zealand, so her uncle Aho plays in the club already, so he or she is coming over to play with us this year. Like, she's a leader, she has it all.
Really excited to see Evelyn Donnelly. She's our back row. She's come through UCD, and she kind of was breaking into our squad last year, and I can't wait to see her in action this year.
There's a lot of underage kind of players coming into the squad. We have like Shifa Hession, so we're excited to have her because we kind of struggled with the 10 position last year.
Our new teammate Sahar, she just came over from America, first training session last night, and I was on the tackle bags against her. I did not enjoy a single second of it. I feel like she's just going to be unreal, and she's definitely someone to look out for.
I'm really excited to see Aoife Corey play, and she had a really great season last year, and I think she's just getting better every season, so we're really excited to see her.
Anna Clark, she's a really exciting player, she's really speedy. She's one of those people who time seems to slow down when they're on the ball.
Vicky Killen back involved with Wicklow this year. I'm excited to see her in the back line. She just brings that knowledge and experience and that kind of calm attitude towards the game, and I think she'll really lead from the front and will set the standard for the back line.
Looking forward to Maeve Óg O'Leary after being out with injury for so long, and yeah, her presence on the pitch and everything she brings a lot of energy to the pitch and keeps everyone going.
So now we are going to jump ahead to round 5 of the Energia AIL, where we are going to see some exciting and some tough matchups. So as we're getting to the stage of the season, Nod, where you are seeing some teams taking the lead and others kind of falling behind. So it's a pretty important part. But to jump in quickly to Blackrock and Wicklow, this is, I suppose, it feels like a little bit of a rivalry is formed between the two clubs. I know before Wicklow made the jump up to the AIL, Philip Doyle, Goose, would have had us down in Wicklow doing our forward sessions down there. So definitely two sides that will be evenly matched and a challenge. Wicklow are obviously going to be looking for the win after a great game against Belbo last week or in last round's fixture. So I suppose, what can you expect from a really hearty fighting Wicklow side?
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, they're kind of going to come out all guns blazing, I'd say, now after that game at the weekend. And yeah, like I think it'll be a very physical battle up front. Like I said, like big scrum. You know, like
they're also at home, which I think is a big one for Wicklow. Like they have that support,
and
you hear it.
Support. Yeah. Like it's such a good club in that like they have like they're such a good club. Like they have so much like youth coming up, but like that means they have support. Like so many people are like invested in that club down in Wicklow.
100%.
It's such like a home club for them. Yeah,
they'll definitely be coming and I suppose fighting for that win. Rock, obviously you're coming off the back of 3 strong wins, which will obviously be kind of leading in their way as well, getting that kind of gelling, bonding. I'm talking about it like I don't play, well, I have to put in a good word, but no, genuinely, like there's even though there's wins coming through, and I'd say every team finds it's the same. You have so much learnings, and I think on game prep, like you are obviously looking to your opposition, and the set piece is something any team playing Wicklow would look at, but you really have to look at yourself as well in the Energia AIL. Each week jumps so quickly. You have to learn where you're falling down and how you can capitalise on getting those bits better. Belva will be taking on Tullow as well. That's obviously your side. Tullow are going to be coming, I think, chomping at the bit as well, especially after some strong pieces of performance through their first few rounds. Railway will be playing Ballincollig. I think they both have 1 win at the moment on the table, so they'll both obviously be looking for that. Railway had a pretty comprehensive score in round 4, so maybe for Ballincollig they'll be hoping to keep that as low as possible, and I think that they have some unbelievable players that we saw in round 4, so I'm hoping that they can come out and really challenge I suppose that cohesive and that more experienced Railway side. Galwegians and Ennis will make the short trip to one another. Obviously that's only if you're not familiar with the geography of where Galwegians and Ennis are, it's only about 40 minutes. Are you aware of that now? As the South Dub, only messing. We go on like your South Dub, but no, like it's obviously going to be a massive derby. Like Galwegians have 4 wins, Ennis have 2 at the moment, but they've been really showing well. So there's probably girls who played maybe a little bit underage as well together and stuff.
Yeah, this could be the start of like a big derby rivalry, because like it's usually kind of just in Dublin that you have the like clubs right beside each other.
100%.
But yeah, that's very exciting to see.
Yeah, can't wait to see that. Definitely one to watch. And finally, Bows will obviously be taking on Cook. Cook are making that long journey down. We've obviously made the journey in either direction, but I suppose to come from Belfast down to Limerick, like you're talking maybe 6 hours on a bus.
46.
It's tough.
Yeah, that makes it like all the tougher, and then like it's never an easy place to go regardless, so yeah, that'll be like a challenge.
Well, look, I suppose last year's AIL champions, they're relentless. They won't be looking to hold off anyway. And that is it for episode 2 of the Her Sport Energia AIL show. Nod, we can't thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for having me.
It's been fabulous to have your insight and knowledge around, of course, the Energia AIL, but also just rugby in general. So thank you, and we'll have a little chat and we might have you back.
Yeah, hopefully. I'd love to be back.
No, but genuinely, thank you. It's been kind of great to catch up. If there's anything that you enjoyed today or that you'd like to see more of, please do let us know in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will see you in episode 3.